JustDestiny, holy shit, this situation has gone a bit out of control in the last few days. So about a week ago, I made a video titled "The Most Insecure Commentator on YouTube, JustDestiny Copyright Strike Abuse." This video showcases how JustDestiny used the copyright system incorrectly by striking a video that was fair use and transformative in nature. This is further explained in a video by John Swan, so if you want to know the legality of this a bit more in depth, I recommend you go there. Because in this video, I'm going to focus more on the response JustDestiny gave, his accusations of slander, and what I personally believe is the real reason he put the copyright strike on LtCobra that nobody seems to be talking about. Now, in order to inform you guys and give you context on the allegations of slander made against LtCobra, I'm going to show you LtCobra's original video that got taken down by JustDestiny, cutting to all the instances where he refers to him as a nunce or a pedophile in any context whatsoever. These are the clips that JustDestiny claims are slanderous.
By putting "she's only 14" in the thumbnail, he's basically saying, how shocking, because I thought she was a lot older and attractive, haha. I'm not a nonce. One of those thumbnails actually being Benji, which was an honest mistake on my part. However, JustDestiny ats Benji and takes the whole focus off the point that he was a paedophile. I mean, you clickbaiting underage children on your YouTube channel being the sole purpose why you actually have a sustainable career on YouTube. Just meaningless, that, mate. I mean, I wonder why you think it's meaningless. Are you actually a paedophile? Is that why you blocked me? Because you couldn't put forward a case defending yourself? No, originally I didn't think JustDestiny was actually a paedophile, quotation mark, nonce. And I believe the only reason he did these types of thumbnails was for views and clicks. However, for him not even telling me that, nor even DMing me, I'm starting to think otherwise. I mean, why else would somebody just block someone instead of actually having a counter argument? It's not as if I jumped to conclusions or anything, I just stated the facts that were there.
Now, if you want to see the full video for yourself in case you think I've manipulated the clips in any way, the link to the full video will be in the description at the very top. Now, the first important question to ask is, how did he even get to this point in the first place to where JustDestiny posted this mob mentality video onto his channel? And that started a couple days ago when, after a bunch of videos came out talking about how he copy-striked LtCobra, and the discussion was kind of circulating a lot on YouTube and Twitter, JustDestiny thought it was a good idea to send a legal cease and desist letter to the 15-year-old who ended up making the original video on him. Now, coincidentally, I was also in a Discord call with LtCobra when he ended up getting this email. And as anyone would at that age, it was pretty concerning. I mean, that's probably the first legal document he's ever been sent of any kind. So whether JustDestiny intended it or not, that cease and desist letter ended up coming out as a bit of a scare tactic against the kid. Luckily, he didn't buy the legitimacy of this email right away, so he took to Twitter to explain the situation, and then this tweet started to get a lot of traction. A fellow news channel on YouTube, Keemstar, ended up finding out about it, and then I DM'd him kind of explaining it more in depth, and he offered to send the information over to Keemstar. When Keemstar found out about this, he ended up making a Twitter video on the situation, and this is what he said in it.
A couple nights ago, I tweeted out, JustDestiny, release the claim or I'm going to cover this on Drama Alert. Now I have to cover this on Drama Alert. This is just so pathetic that a commentator who makes videos criticizing other people had a video made on him criticizing him, and he copy-struck the video, took it down falsely, and then on top of it is now threatening to sue a 15-year-old. Well, I just want to let you know, JustDestiny, I will give that kid all the money in the world to defeat you in court, and like I said on Twitter, I will be covering this story on Drama Alert. You are a piece of shit for this. When that 15-year-old kid called you out for uploading some questionable stuff, you deleted every single one of those videos because you were wrong, and now you're trying to hide the evidence, which is going to cause this story to go viral. Last chance, remove the strike off the 15-year-old kid, or I'm going to have to cover the story.
Due to Keemstar's large Twitter following, this video ended up getting over 300k views and capturing the attention of big creators including PewDiePie. This is when JustDestiny decides to reactivate his Twitter after previously deactivating it from the criticism, to come back and make some vague tweets that imply he's not really apologetic at all for this situation. Later that day, Keemstar also said that JustDestiny was about to come on to an interview on Drama Alert. But before that happened, we were graced by this wonderful interview done by Charmed Skull, where JustDestiny came out and kind of gave his side to the situation.
So he made a video implicating and accusing me of being a nonce. After this video kind of blew up, it had like, I don't know, maybe 5,000 views.
Right.
People started coming to my Twitter and basically started harassing me, calling me a pedophile and a nonce because I'm sexualizing children. I'm using them for clickbait. I was kind of shook. I'm using the word shook because like I never thought in a million years that I would be put in this position. So I eventually deactivated my Twitter because it was stressing me out. You know, especially I know who I am. I'm not a sexual predator. I'm like, dude, I care about the environment. I love people.
Well,
I care about the world.
The environment. Either you guys hate it or you love it, right?
Oh my god. I want a better world. I hate people who prey on the weak. The video initially pissed me off.
Right.
And I was within a state of, you know, just trying to communicate with him or not taking down the video. You know, I was just like, it was like a wobble in my head. But what really triggered me was when he went to my stream. I was live streaming. He donated $1 and called me a pussy. Yeah, I even had to ban him from donating because I was scared he was gonna keep doing that.
LtCobra saying that he got an email from your attorney. So you're going to sue a 15-year-old kid?
That letter that he emailed that he got was a cease and desist. That's not a letter saying that he's gonna get sued. It says solely that if he doesn't stop slandering me, trying to libel me, or trying to spread around false accusations of me being a sexual predator, that he is subject to being sued. I'm dealing with anxiety right now. You know, sometimes my fucking heart just races and I can't control it.
Go ahead and explain to everyone else. How is this not a false copyright strike?
All right, so I was confused on that until I picked his brain a little. Basically, bottom line is, it's not about that I took down the video initially. It's about the way I took it down, how I took it down. I took it down via a copyright strike, which is still viable because my content was in the video, and he was using my content to propagate the idea that I was a sexual predator. But Keemstar didn't like that I took it down via copyright. He said if I would have taken it down via a defamatory or slander type category, he would have been totally fine with it. You know, in my mind, I was like, why would I allow someone to use my content from my channel? You know, that takes a lot of time to edit.
I mean,
to propagate an idea of me being a sexual predator. I've done nothing wrong. If you actually want to get to the technicalities of this whole situation, and you want to get a lawyer involved, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna win every single time. And I'm not trying to sound arrogant or cocky, but it's just the way it is. You can't go around slandering people on this scale. And Cobra is the problem. People like him are the problems of society. Cobra, he broke the law because he slandered me, and that's illegal. He used my content. I struck it down. That's justifiable under the copyright laws of YouTube. A lot of people won't think that, but given my circumstances where he's accusing me of being a pedophile, I think it's appropriate.
Like, would you release a copyright strike on Cobra's account if he offered to actually delete the video?
No, I want an apology.
Okay, just an apology?
I want an apology. I want to speak to his parents, and then I'll release it. Because he needs to learn a lesson. Yeah.
Now, considering what was actually said in Lieutenant Cobra's video, it isn't far-fetched to say that this is an overreaction coming from JustDestiny. And this extreme overreaction continues when JustDestiny goes on to Drama Alert to discuss it even further. A lot of the same points I just showed you from the Charmed Skull interview was also brought up in the Keemstar interview, and it kind of leads up to a point where Keemstar asks a really ridiculous question.
Like, it makes me have to ask this question, like, do you touch kids?
Oh my god. Really?
But do you? Do you touch kids?
Keem, stop asking ridiculous questions.
Are you into underage kids sexually?
Now, up until this point, Keemstar did a pretty good job of showcasing how ridiculous JustDestiny was being in this scenario. But once he asked that, he perpetuated the narrative that JustDestiny was giving, about him being attacked and being slandered.
His fans or viewers came to my Twitter, started harassing me, calling me pedo and all that stuff.
Yeah.
He created a mob of people coming at me without any proof whatsoever of his accusations. It got out of hand. People started harassing me on multiple platforms. I wanted the video to go away by any means possible.
Did he come out and say 100% that you were a pedo? Did he claim you were a pedo?
It might as well have been 100%.
And it makes me wonder, like, does this guy actually touch kids? Like, I don't understand. Like, why would he?
Stop it. Stop it.
By Keem asking this, he gives validation to JustDestiny's defense of taking down the video. He took down the video because after a couple people saw LtCobra's video, they went onto his Twitter and onto his live stream and harassed him about it. This harassment was so small that a reaction like this from JustDestiny is way over the top and makes him abusing the copyright system to take down the video seem extremely petty and sensitive, because it was. But by Keem mentioning it, a very big and important figure in the community, it plants the idea in people's heads that this harassment could have been much bigger than it was, and is what JustDestiny is relying on to sell his reasoning to why he took down the video. Now, if you want proof of this being a criticism only made by a very small amount of people who watched that video, there's so much proof out there. The video that LtCobra made got the copyright strike removed and is back up on YouTube, and it currently has only 3,000 views and 300 likes. And how many of those 300 people have Twitter accounts? And how many of them would actually want to go out and harass JustDestiny for this? And then compare that potential number to his follower count on Twitter, and you can start to see why this is a huge overreaction by JustDestiny. But obviously, people watching the interview won't know all of this info, and by seeing someone as big as Keemstar straight up ask him, "Are you a pedophile?" it really sells the narrative that a lot of people have been harassing him about this. I mean, in his thumbnail for the next video that we're going to talk about, Mob Mentality, it literally shows like 100 people surrounding one person, which wasn't even the case in this scenario. But again, Keemstar helped him sell the narrative that a lot of people were harassing him, and it was at an overwhelming level. Now, obviously, no matter what level of harassment he's getting, it doesn't justify abusing the copyright system. But it does make his mistake, that he's willingly calling a mistake, a lot more understandable to the audience. This idea of him being a victim heavily benefits him in his next video that he uploads titled Mob Mentality. Now, what he does in this video is uses the lack of info people have on the situation to frame it in a way that really makes him look like the victim in the whole scenario. Because a lot of people aren't going to see the original LtCobra video, he can describe it in any way he wants to make it sound like it was a horrible slander piece against him, and that's exactly what he does in this video.
So there was this kid named LtCobra who made a video on me about 2 weeks ago, insinuating, accusing, or throwing out the conspiracy that I may be like some type of pedo. And if you guys are subscribed to this channel, you guys all already know that these claims are just full of shit. When other YouTubers started coming at my throat, actually trying to side with this kid, obviously things got a little heated. You know, I went on Drama Alert and had a chat with Keemstar. He's just all one-sided on the situation. I don't think he really cared about the accusations, really. The video was obviously slander. People are saying that is criticism, but I beg to differ. It was hell. Name-calling, bullying, harassment. This kid had the audacity to come to my live stream one day, right? I was streaming. Most of you were there. No, some of you were there and some of you weren't. And he donated $1 just to call me a pussy, you know, just to try to demean me in front of all of my viewers. You know, if you want to call me an old man, sure, go ahead. Really doesn't mean anything. I'm gonna have to start modding people for this chat. But this was a tactical maneuver, and he got what he wanted. You know, he wanted to attack someone bigger than him, gain attention off of it, which he did. regardless or not if I would have gave it attention or would have just ignored it. But I tried to ignore it. But when there's an outsider making a video, that's a different story. But this kid is like, he's on the inside. Everyone who follows me follows him and vice versa. So it's like, it's hard to get away. He only has, what, 2,000 subscribers. Okay, sure. But that's still a large enough fan base. That's still thousands of people to publish a slanderous video. He made a video. He built a campaign off of that video. He got clout and attention from that video. He came to my stream with his friends, donated $1 to harass me. I wanted to take down the video. I wanted the video gone. So I did just that. After he pushed my buttons so many times, I decided to take down the video that used content from my channel to support claims of his that I was or am a nonce. Whether it be confirmed or not, it still had the same effect. Then they started calling me a copyright abuser. You know, literally everyone. Thousands of people, mobs and mobs of people were now on my back because I took down a video that was slandering me and accusing me of being a pedo. You know, they're saying that I abused the copyright system and that I'm a criminal. But it's just so ironic how they're not calling him a criminal, even though he did illegal stuff. Anybody who is supporting this kid, you should be ashamed of yourself. Actually, you actually should be ashamed of yourself. They're trying to say that I got my feelings hurt and I decided to silence him because I got my feelings hurt. No. No. If he called me fat and ugly, that'd be one thing. It's just sad, honestly. And I'm devastated. I am devastated to think that I went on Jom Alert and to think that Keem would actually say that I'm starting to believe that from an outsider's perspective that you might actually be into touching kids. Like, what the Keem, really? Are you fucking kidding me? Disgusting, man. Actually, it's not funny too. Like, it's really not funny. I don't know what else to say. Even though I don't believe I should, I'm gonna be forced to have the video get back up, you know, that claim or whatever removed because I've been intimidated to do so. I have no other choice. You know, the collective power of all these different peoples combined far outweighs mine. So I'm being forced to retract everything. You know, people want me to make a public apology. I'm not gonna apologize for anything. To LtCobra, to the kid who uploaded the video, you know you're in the wrong. Come on. Actually, you know you're in the wrong.
At the end of the day, this video that he uploaded is causing a large group of people to dislike LtCobra, which is horrible because he did nothing wrong in this scenario, and if he happens to gain a large following, some people might remember his name from this video and then see his username in the recommended with his videos and start to harass him and dislike him based off an allegation that really just isn't true. And this is all just because he couldn't handle somebody calling him a nunce in a YouTube video. Wow. JustDestiny, I don't like anything you've done during this scenario, you know. You abused the copyright system, you didn't apologize, and now you are trying to shift the blame onto the victim. Not only that, but you betrayed the trust of your fan base that helped make you a name on the internet by manipulating them into thinking you were the victim. You know, YouTubers always make these disingenuous apology videos, and people call them out for it, but at least they try to apologize to some extent, and they don't play the victim like you did. This is blatant manipulation, and you should feel ashamed.
They don't look into things. They accept anything as fact without actually looking into it. And I understand there are thousands of people on Twitter, on YouTube, or on social media in general, and they don't look into things. And that's the problem with social media today. Every single day there's a new accusation, and people they just disregard the context.
Now, originally I didn't think JustDestiny was actually a paedophile, quotation mark, nonce, and I believe the only reason he did these types of thumbnails was for views and clicks.
Now, before we end this video, I'd like to quickly take the time to tell you guys why I think JustDestiny actually copystriked LtCobra's video. For me, I've always been extremely confused to why he actually striked LtCobra, because he made the tweet earlier saying that people who copystrike just can't take criticism. He's a commentator himself. I'm pretty sure he's aware of how the copystrike system works on YouTube. It seems extremely out of left field for someone like him to abuse the system in that way. But from evidence within these 3 videos, I think I found out exactly why he decided to do this, and it makes a lot more sense. So throughout all the clips I've shown so far, you can really tell that JustDestiny He's a very sensitive dude. You can hear it in his voice at how upset he is, bringing up many times that he was distraught after being called a pussy in a $1 donation on his Twitch stream.
The first time I've ever been in a situation like this before where someone's accusing me of doing illegal activity like this, and I didn't really know what to do, but it was scary. He donated $1 just to call me a pussy, just to try to demean me in front of all of my viewers. Yeah, I even had to ban him from donating because I was scared he was gonna keep doing that.
So if you were that sensitive and in that situation, what would you want to do to stop this? The main source of this is just LtCobra and his friends. So what do you decide to do? Well, he came up with a plan to create a fake cease and desist letter with this bullshit law firm that we found out recently was 100% fake, and use that as a scare tactic to stop Cobra from sending him messages about the video and clickbait thumbnails. In the Charmed Skull interview, he mentions that he's a bit upset that he didn't get to talk to Cobra's parents, that he didn't know the full address of LtCobra, and that his anonymity online was pretty frustrating for him to deal with, mentioning how he actually intended to send the cease and desist letter via mail to LtCobra.
And I wanted to get into contact with his parents, but his address is obviously not online. His number, I can't find anything related to this guy. He's basically anonymous. I don't have his address. Right. Don't know anything about him. So that was the only way I could. Initially, it was going to be sent to his real address, but there's no way to find this kid. Especially since he's in the UK. I don't know. It's hard. It's definitely hard. So email was the only way.
If he wanted to send a cease and desist letter to LtCobra, how would he go about gaining that information? Well, when you file a copyright strike, the defendant has an option to send a counter notification. But in order to send that counter notification through YouTube, you need to give out your full legal name and address. I believe that JustDestiny copystriked the video not because it was slanderous, but because he wanted LtCobra to send a counter notification in order for him to gain his address, then accept his counter notification but gain his address in the process. Then use that address to send a cease and desist letter to his house in order to scare him away from bullying him online. Obviously, Cobra never ended up sending the counter notification and instead made a response video, which ended up gaining some traction. Keemstar found out about it, and then the whole ordeal started where he was about to go on Drama Alert to talk about it, and he had to go on his main channel. So he had to make up an excuse to why he ended up striking the video. He ended up going with the excuse of slander, which actually doesn't make much sense because slander is different from copyright. If it was for slander, he could have easily flagged it for hate speech, but instead he took it down for copyright. Why would he send a false copyright strike when he could have sent a hate speech strike? The answer is that he wanted LtCobra's personal information. If you sent a strike based off community guidelines, there would have been no counter notification phase. There would have been no legal procedure that went into this. There would have been no reason for LtCobra to send over his address to JustDestiny. And without that address, JustDestiny wouldn't have been able to forge the fake cease and desist letter and send it via mail. Instead, he had to settle by sending it via email, which ended up backfiring on him because he kept the video down the whole time in hopes that LtCobra would end up sending a counter notification, which he never did. And now he's trying to backtrack with the excuse of slander, which is just extremely disingenuous if you end up actually looking at LtCobra's video. Nothing in it really qualifies as slander. He never had a problem with the video. He had a problem with the creator harassing him based off the video he created. And that is why I believe he sent out the copyright strike. But that's just a theory. Hopefully we can stop having copyright strike issues because I'm actually legitimately sick and tired of talking about copyright strikes on YouTube. And I just want to get back to making more fun, lighthearted videos that are more focused on stuff that isn't related to copyright strikes. It gets way too heated, okay? So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Looking forward to what you say in the comments, and I will see you guys later. Quick channel update, I actually just got my join button onto the YouTube channel where you can click it to pay $5 a month to get these exclusive rewards. This includes a demonetized emoji, a copystrike emoji, special vlogs too, where I explain the thought process on some of my videos. These will probably come out maybe weekly, a couple times a month, who knows. And then an exclusive Discord role that will give you access to a priority chat that I will always check and reply to, and also give you access to a creator chat, which is the same chat that people with the YouTube and Twitch streamer tag have access to, so you can kind of talk amongst them. The last perk is that you guys will be shouted out at the end of every video. And if you have a YouTube page or a Twitch page or a Twitter page or any other website you want to promote, I will also promote that at the end of the video for you guys if you message me about it. I hope you guys consider joining. It would help me out a lot, and I do have more plans to add more perks in the future. If you have any ideas for perks, you can join my Discord channel and send me a message and I will consider it. Thank you guys so much for watching, supporting the channel, and fuck JustDestiny.
You had no idea that you uploading, you know, videos with a 11-year-old girl dressed in skimpy clothes, right, on a thumbnail, right? You had no idea that this would cause people to call you a pedo or a nunce?
Nope.
You took an automatic L.